It has been reported that you initially pushed back against requests by senior Trump administration officials to push out or fire the acting U.S. Attorney in Virginia, Eric Siebert, who's a conservative Republican, who made the decision that the evidence was not there to prosecute Comey. What made you change your opinion?
I am not going to discuss personnel decisions.
Okay. Is it true that the career prosecutors in the Eastern District of Virginia found that there was insufficient evidence to bring criminal charges against former Director Comey?
This wasn't just a Senate hearing, it was a showdown over the rule of law. Amy Klobuchar asked direct, fact-based questions about presidential interference in justice. Pam Bondi answered with politics, evasion, and deflection.
Given your efforts in Florida, do you agree that at least raising the age for purchasing assault weapons could reduce the number of these shootings?
Senator, first, that's pending litigation, and I can't discuss that at all. The 21 is pending litigation. I cannot discuss
in
that.
Florida?
But if I could go back
I really
the
didn't know
21
this.
age is pending litigation. I can't discuss that. But Senator, back to what you said about what happened in Minnesota, there is no place for that. And I believe I spoke to you after that horrific, those murders. And I'm so sorry that happened. And all of my federal agencies were partnering with state agencies, working hand in hand in Minnesota. What I can tell you about the Second Amendment is this is the most pro-Second Amendment DOJ in American history, as you know. But we want to keep guns, as you said, where they should be, in the hands of law-abiding American citizens, while keeping them out of the hands of criminals and gangs. Since January 20th, the ATF and FBI have seized more than 30,000 illegal guns.
I have 10 minutes.
30,000.
You have
Senator
given these
Klobuchar.
statistics, and I truly appreciate those statistics. But what I was just trying to get at was something where maybe we could find common ground on a bill that you actually defended in court in a state, which Director Patel seemed open to, and that was looking at could we at least raise the age to 21 of the purchase of an assault weapon federally while states look at banning these weapons overall, given these little babies that this gun is used to kill. So we can talk about it later, but that was my question, and you don't want to answer it.
No, it's pending litigation, Senator.
Okay, but your views on this is not pending litigation. So I want to get to the independence of the Justice Department. At your nomination hearing, I specifically asked you to provide assurance to every member of this committee that the Justice Department will only follow the facts and the law, and the White House will play no role in the cases investigated or brought. You stated in response, this was you, politics will not play a part in my decisions. And you also said the Justice Department must be independent and must act independently. Do you believe that you have upheld that commitment?
I absolutely have upheld that commitment, Senator. I pledged that I would end the weaponization also of the Justice Department, and that America would once again have a one-tier system of justice for all. And that is what we are doing in this country.
We saw this with the president directing an investigation prosecution of Chris Krebs, the former head of cybersecurity, Lisa Cook, who is a current governor of the Federal Reserve, Director Comey. And the president, and I know you have said that you will not discuss discussions you've had with the president about Comey. Is that correct? That you won't testify here about that? Because I was going to ask you if you received advice, instruction, or request from anyone at the White House to direct the department to engage in any investigations, prosecutorial actions, including decisions not to investigate or prosecute anyone.
I'm not going to discuss any conversations.
But then how about the Truth Social post on September 20th, 2025, in which the president said, we can't delay any longer, Pam, using your name, not bringing criminal charges, are killing our reputation, his words, and credibility. And then goes on to tell you to prosecute a member of this committee to prosecute the Attorney General of New York and to prosecute James Comey. Do you consider that a directive to the Justice Department?
Senator Klobuchar, President Trump is the most transparent president in American history, and I don't think he said anything that he hasn't said for years.
Okay, it has been reported that you initially pushed back against requests by senior Trump administration officials to push out or fire the acting U.S. Attorney in Virginia, Eric Siebert, who's a conservative Republican, who made the decision that the evidence was not there to prosecute Comey. What made you change your opinion?
I am not going to discuss personnel decisions.
Okay. Is it true that the career prosecutors in the Eastern District of Virginia found that there was insufficient evidence to bring criminal charges against former Director Comey?
I am not going to discuss pending cases because Comey was indicted in the Eastern District of Virginia by, I may point out, one of the most liberal grand juries in the country.
Okay, let's go on to other firings or terminations. Last week, the Justice Department fired at least 2 senior attorneys in the Eastern District of Virginia, including the office's national security chief, Michael Benary. It is reported that his firing came following criticism from a right-wing social media commentator who wrote, "One can only assume he was part of the internal resistance in the Comey indictment." In fact, he did not work on the Comey case. Instead, he was working on pursuing justice for service members killed in Afghanistan. How does firing a 20-year national security prosecutor enhance public safety?
Senator Klobuchar, I'm not going to discuss personnel decisions, but the personnel issue that I'm having right now is that all of my agents, all of my lawyers are working. My agents are on the street working without a paycheck because your party voted to shut down the federal government.
Unfortunately, the House isn't even back here. There are 18.
What happened between Amy Klobuchar and Pam Bondi was more than just a partisan clash. It was a reflection of how far the Justice Department has strayed from public accountability. Klobuchar's questions were direct. Did the president press you to punish his enemies? Did you follow the facts or the politics? Each time, Bondi responded with the same refrain: "I won't discuss personnel decisions or pending matters." But it wasn't about personnel, it was about power. The crux of Klobuchar's investigation centered on a single Truth Social post, in which the former president publicly called out Bondi by name, demanding she prosecute or kill our reputation. That is not simply hyperbole. It is a mandate disguised as a tweet. And when the nation's highest law enforcement official refuses to condemn or even confront the situation, silence equals complicity. Bondi's statement that Trump is the most transparent president in American history was telling. Transparency isn't about speaking loudly, it's about responding honestly. Her refusal to address simple issues, if evidence existed, whether independence still drove her department, demonstrated that the Justice Department's autonomy under her leadership was an illusion rather than a reality. Klobuchar's steady persistence stood in stark contrast. She did not boast, she recorded. Her line of questions revealed a pattern: the politicized Comey indictment, the removal of renowned prosecutors, and the expanding role of social media as a vehicle of executive intimidation. Each unanswered inquiry produced a breadcrumb trail that led to a politicized Justice Department. This session revealed an unsettling truth about modern governance. The distinction between political loyalty and professional duty is dissolving. When the United States Attorney General is unable to distinguish between her duty and the president's requests, justice becomes conditional. Bondi's unwillingness to defend independence weakened not only her credibility, but also the institution she represents. Klobuchar's questions reminded Americans of a fundamental truth: independence is not an abstract notion, it is the backbone of democracy. When the public loses faith that prosecutions are based on law rather than allegiance, faith in the entire system crumbles. In that light, Klobuchar wasn't just correct, she was essential. Her interrogation was not for headlines, but for history. And history will remember who responded the demand for truth and who hid behind the phrase, "no comment."